Hi everyone, my name is Thapelo Moloko and I am 21 years old. I am born again Christian, both parents are pastors. I am an HR student and I am a YouTuber. So my story started in 2014. It was around September and I was in school and I just felt my back crack. But because I was quite young, I didn't really take it seriously until after school because the pain just kept escalating. And I remember I got home and I laid on the bed because I thought it wasn't anything serious. That was around September. I went throughout the year and I was sick, but it wasn't as bad. 2015, I was 16 years old. It got worse. I remember I did not even write my midterm exams because I was that sick. We went from doctor to doctor trying to find what the problem might be. And I remember the first diagnosis I got was that I had scoliosis. The doctor had prescribed a back brace for me because he said that since I'm quite young, an operation wouldn't be a good idea. So I got a back brace. It worked for about 3 months, I think, and eventually it didn't work anymore, which was a problem because it's that point where you don't know now what should be done because this was the diagnosis that I got and this is what I was told to do, and I did that, but it didn't work. It's my final exams, I started having headaches, which is something that I did not have before. I started having headaches and I felt so weak, but I think it didn't last for even a week. I was okay. The following year now, after matric, I couldn't go to university and I couldn't go to college. So I decided to upgrade my marks so that I can get a better chance at being admitted or accepted into university. So around April of that year, I had to drop out of the school where I was upgrading my marks because the pains got worse. So now, I did not know what else to do because the back brace that was prescribed before did not work. So now it was a question of what am I going to do now? And I went from doctor to doctor, and you'd get pain meds that would work for a month or so and your body gets used to them, and then you'd get other pain meds and your body gets used to them. So by the end of the year, you've literally run out of options and you don't know what to do. Last year though, 2019, was the year where a lot happened. It was the year where even mentally, I got really affected. So I enrolled for N6, which is the final semester. It's very exciting because I'm almost done. So I did that and we went for school holidays. So I had to, when I went back, it was for exams. So I was literally almost done. And in May, I felt terribly ill. My back just took another turn. The pain was more severe than ever, and not only did it end there, but it also affected my right leg. So now I was finding it hard to walk, I was finding it hard to sleep, to lie down. Everything was just so terrible. And I remember that was when I fell into a depression. At first, I didn't know what it was. I just felt sad. I used to tell my sisters, I'm like, I feel so sad. I just didn't know what the problem was. I was in my room all day, every day. I ate a lot. I wanted to eat and sleep, eat, sleep. I did not want to do anything. And that was the time as well where I became an insomniac. So I had chronic insomnia. I did not sleep for a whole night, and I wouldn't feel sleepy at all the following day. So that was when a lot happened, and so now my family got worried, so we had to seek help. I went to a doctor and she asked me if I would like to have pain meds. So I told her, I'm like, I've literally been through pain meds, so they don't really work. And she started asking me names of pain meds that she knew were strong. And I remember telling her, yeah, I know that one, it didn't work. I know that one, it didn't work. And she was also like, I don't know what else to do for you. And at that moment, luckily, she remembered a woman who does sort of like an MRI scan, but she does it at home. So yeah, it's technology, it's very advanced. So that lady came to our house and she she diagnosed me and she said that I have allergies. She said that a normal person's allergies, allergic reactions are on the skin, like they'd get rash or something like that. But with my allergic reactions, I react within. So my body is constantly in shock. And in that way, I'm always in pain because my brain and my body just don't work together. So it did not make sense. But because, you know, she did the whole scan thing, we thought, okay, fine. So what needs to be done? She gave me some herbs and she said that I should drink the tea. There was tea and other capsules, and she said that if I'm consistent, then I'm gonna be okay. That didn't work. And we called her back in and she scanned me the second time and she said that I have osteoporosis. Now this is the third diagnosis that I got. I was like, osteoporosis, how is that possible? And she said that your bones most probably lack calcium and all of that, which made sense because I'm lactose intolerant. So I thought, okay, fine, then that means my bones aren't as strong as a normal person's bones would be. So I was on supplements for a good 3 months. The supplements were not nice, especially because you drink them because you must drink them because you want to be okay. I had to cut out a lot of food that I really did like for I think it was about 3 months, until I was like, but these aren't helping. I did not feel any difference. I was actually getting worse. And it was at that time where my depression escalated. I remember one night, because I had trouble sleeping, I got pain meds. I got sleeping tablets. So one night I was in my room and thinking to myself, but the pain is just too much, you know. And I remember thinking, you know, you argue with yourself and you have this debate in your mind. And one of the things I was like, I don't think God likes it when I'm in so much pain. So why don't I just drink these sleeping pills and just, you know, forget about it? And at that moment, you know, you think of your family. I thought of my family, and one of the things I said was, but they have each other. My family is not as big, but we're more than enough. And I thought, we have each other, they have each other, they're gonna be okay. And God did not let that happen. He talked me out of it. He really did. And he had a way of just doing it. So I did not overdose on sleeping pills that night. And I really thank God that I didn't. So now 3 diagnoses in, there's still no solution. And then one time my dad had to go get me some pain meds, and he went to a pharmacy. This lady told him, no, there's a back clinic in Kempton Park. Maybe she can go there and should find help. I did go there, they physiotherapists. I went for a month. It did not work. Until one time I had patches on. They put some patches on me, and I was okay for 3 days. I was so okay. I was normal, and we even have a video of me dancing. But 3 days later, I went back to square one. So now I had to go to another doctor. I got to that doctor and he said that my spinal muscles are tight. That's what the problem is. There's no osteoporosis, there's no allergies, there's nothing. My spinal muscles are tight. So now you think, okay, fine, there's lightness at the end of the tunnel. And he injected me and he said, you're going to be okay in no time. No time did not happen. I was not okay still. And at that moment, honestly, I was tired. I was tired of going from doctor to doctor. I was tired of being diagnosed over and over, because when they diagnose you, they give you pain meds, and those pain meds cause other illnesses in the body. And so I was like, you know what, I'm okay with this. And the doctor that diagnosed me with tight muscles was the one that actually diagnosed me with depression. So he put me on antidepressants. I drank those for I think 2 months or so, and they did work. I was happier, you know. I was okay. I was more positive and all of that. I got out of my room now. I was, you know, bonding with the family and all of that. And until one Sunday, I felt a sharp pain in my lower abdomen. I did not know what that was. I was in shock because it was just so painful. And throughout the course of the week, I couldn't do much. It was really, really, really painful. until I then decided, no man, let me go to the doctor. The doctor was like, no, it's UTI. UTI is not a big deal. So he gave me antibiotics and he said, you're going to be okay within a week. Come back for checkup within a week. I went back within a week. The antibiotics were done. I was done with the treatment and the pain was still there. So he tested me again and he said that the UTI was worse, which did not make sense because I was on antibiotics for a whole week. So he then said, Hore, I'm going to give you stronger antibiotics, but bear in mind that it could be ovarian cysts or appendicitis. So I was really surprised because as far as I know, ovarian cysts are quite a big deal. So I was scared. I remember I got home and I was crying. I'm like, what is this? Diagnosis after diagnosis. And it scares you a lot because you don't even know what to do anymore. You pray, but you're like, God, what's going on? So he gave me stronger antibiotics for I think a week or two. It didn't work. So I went to the doctor and he was like, okay, fine, go for an ultrasound because it might be ovarian cysts. So I went for the ultrasound. They did not see anything. And I remember he said it might be hormonal imbalances. So now I'm like, what's going on? The diagnosis was just too much, honestly speaking. And so I went home, researched on hormonal imbalances. It made sense. A lot of the symptoms that I had connected to hormonal imbalances. So now I had to see a gynecologist. I went to a gynecologist. She also did an ultrasound and she's like, no, there are no cysts, but go for blood tests. I went for blood tests, I think twice. And when I got to the diagnosis, to the gynecologist with the blood results, she said that I could be having PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. Because all the symptoms connected to that and all of that. But the blood tests results that they got were inconclusive, so not all of them were in. So as we were there, they called the lab that did the blood tests and they asked them to please send forth the complete results. And when the complete results came, the diagnosis changed and she said I just have progesterone deficiency. She put me on treatment for, I think I was on it for 2 months, if not 3 months. And she said that you're going to see a difference, you're going to be okay. And I was optimistic about it. 3 months went by, there was no difference. I went back to her and I'm like, I'm not feeling any difference. You said by 3 months I should be okay, because she said that the abdominal pain was caused by some reproductive system things, and she said the moment that is solved, you're gonna be okay. So I was like, there's no difference, I'm still in pain, it's actually worse than it was before I came here. And so she was like, okay, fine, the problem could be IBS. IBS is irritable bowel syndrome. And I remember telling her it doesn't make sense because I have such symptoms of IBS because of the treatment that you give me. And you also told me that the treatment you give me will cause these symptoms. So how does it make sense that I have IBS? And she said, no, I don't want to give you treatment for endometriosis because you're still young and it's quite bad. The treatment is quite severe. It's so strong, it's gonna make you sick, it's gonna make you depressed, it's gonna do all sorts of things. So she's like, let's do a trial with these ones, and then if it's not IBS, then I'll put you on treatment for endometriosis. Now I was on that and then I realized it's not IBS. Honestly, I did my research. I called our family doctor and he was like, no, it can't be IBS. We actually went to him to consult and he said there's no way it's IBS. So I contacted the gynecologist and she prescribed some pills for endometriosis because she said that it would be a waste to go for an operation if it's not endometriosis. So if I'm on the meds for endometriosis, if it helps, then it will determine that I do have endometriosis. I was on that for about 2 weeks. They made me sick. I had terrible headaches. I could not sleep because of headaches. It was just that bad. And one time I was going through Instagram, and I ran into this woman that sells herbs. And I thought to myself, you know what, I've been drinking pain meds for so long. They've been causing other illnesses in my body that were not there before I started taking the pain meds. So I'm like, let me just stop with all these medications and all of that, because they do have side effects. And I'm like, let me try this other route now, the herbal route. So I contacted her and I told her all my symptoms, and she said that it's not endometriosis. From the symptoms that I've been giving her, there's no way it's endometriosis. It is possibly cysts. So now we go back to the whole cyst thing. So I did order the herbs, and I've been on them for quite a while. And at this point, you know, I feel that I've been through a lot, and I feel like at this point I'm very optimistic about this one, because a lot of things, honestly, when you go from doctor to doctor, this doctor tells you one thing, the other doctor tells you another thing, and the other doctor tells you another thing, and you even go to hospitals and they tell you another thing, and at some point you just feel like, you know what, let me just settle. And I feel like with these herbs, although I do not know where the road will lead, but I'm very hopeful. I have learned that sometimes God will let you go through things because He wants you to get rid of certain things from yourself. It's a way in which He directs our path, you know, through hardships. There's a verse in the Bible where it says that gold is tested through fire. And even though it's been hard, the depression for me was the worst, because I feel like when you are mentally ill, even your body just automatically becomes, you know, even more ill, you know, even the pains that weren't there all along because of the depression, it just becomes severe. But I'm hopeful, and I might not know where the road leads to, but I am living testimony that even though you are sick, even though you do not know what's going on with your life, you can still be hopeful, and you can still hold on to God, because He knows, you know, He knows what's best for us. Apostle Peter says that do not be afraid, as though what you're going through is different from what others are going through. So someone might be going through the same thing, but it's gonna be okay. And coming from someone who hasn't really overcome yet, but it's gonna be okay, because with the Lord on our side, anything is possible. Thank you. Hi, my name is Thapelo, and I've been through the most.